what Vadodara is playing role in this entire architecturing journey.
First is my college, then the city, the Nyay Mandir, Fort building. All these buildings were made in 70 to 1900 by Maharaja Sayajirao. We are fortunate to start your career or studies from a city where it has a fantastic, strong architectural influence. Taj Mahal has a natural facade from 500 years. Third time when I visited, I thought, how come a Shah Jahan must have brought the material which is also Sangam ne white? You believe that it's not pure white.
What kind of materials you are preferring more towards? Because the material will play a big role over there.
1000-year-old temples are there made in terracotta. जो आपको सिखाएगा इंटीरियर मटेरियल्स. पैलेसेस आर टीचिंग मी. इतने सुंदर जाली है, कॉम्प्रेस्ड एयर आती है, ठंडी होके आती है, गर्म हवा को ड्रॉप करता है टेम्परेचर. मेरे ख्याल से हिंदुस्तान इज रिच विद such fantastic architecture in all over the country. उसका स्टडी खाली आप अगर डिटेल में कर लो, मतलब बिलीव मी.
आपको कब पहली बार महसूस हुआ you want to become an architect?
In my school days, I used to enjoy making those models. So we used to make forts, then the small town, and we used to put a lot of small models of houses, theaters. I was genuinely surprised, and that was the first time I heard the word architect.
When you were in 10th standard?
When I was in 10th standard.
Something which is changed from that boy to this person.
I started unlearning and learning.
If I want to learn today from you that how to learn to unlearn.
I've designed this house, so let me now delete the whole process of designing.
Any specific project which is very close to your heart?
I got one footwear showroom mid of the city. It was made in 1880. Facade was lime plastered but highly deteriorated. I found a fantastic potential. That client, I thought he doesn't know what he has, the treasure. उनको बोला ये mezzanine निकाल देंगे, your jackass, उसके ऊपर का चूने का प्लास्टर निकाल देंगे. Initially his father was confused कि यार ये क्या कर रहे हैं, चूने का प्लास्टर निकाल. After 3 years, the client called me. He said, "Sir, the Narendra Modi ji wear the footwear, which is Make in India company."
Lots of our audience are younger interior designers or architects who are studying. What kind of advice you would like to give them?
काम हमेशा काम करता है. मेरा बहुत स्ट्रॉन्ग एडवाइस है कि अगर आपको 10 से 6 की जॉब करनी है तो मत करो फिर आगे चलो. अगर हमको पता चला ना कि 10.2 का अर्थक्वेक आ रहा है, 2 ऑप्शंस है, या तो दरवाजा खोलो भाग जाओ, या मेरा स्केच मैं पूरा करूं. तो आई एम रेडी टू डाई विद दिस पेंसिल पेपर एंड माय कॉन्सेप्ट. अगर वो है ना.
Today we are not only talking about a designer. We are talking about a person who is shaping lots of people's life since last 30 years. I'm honored to have his here. Let's welcome Mr. Hitesh Modi. I'll not just say interior designer and architect. He has something achieved in the life, is shaping lots of people's life, spaces, career, lots of things he's doing. So let's understand from him today that what he is doing since last so many years. Please welcome to our show, Mr. Hitesh Modi, and thank you so much for coming here and giving this clarity to this entire world that what you are doing and how things is working for you. So lots of people can change their life.
Thank you. Thank you for hosting me, and I really appreciate the initiative beyond as a young entrepreneur. Instead of just doing your business or trying to think about the product development and passionately growing your business, this is something a fantastic initiative. I believe this can genuinely will help so many new homemakers, architects, younger architect students. So a good initiative to speak casually and discuss about the journey that as an architect I have done through last 30 years of my life. Thank you.
Lovely. Thank you, Hitesh sir, for coming here and sharing your all the things very naturally, very honestly, whatever you have been through in last 30 years. So first thing मैं आपसे ये जानना चाहता हूँ हितेश सर कि आपको कब पहली बार महसूस हुआ you want to become an architect?
बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग स्टोरी है. आई थिंक अभी हमने जैसे डिस्कस किया कि ऊपर वाला जो है ना वो हमेशा हमसे कम्युनिकेट करता है एवरी टाइम ही वांट्स टू टॉक इट इज़ नॉट इन डायरेक्ट वर्ड्स बट देयर इज बाय यू रियलाइज के यार ये मतलब दिस इज हिज कॉल
This is message to
yes
me.
this is message to me and this is I think my when I was in my school I brought up in Karnataka Belgaum I never saw Gujarat and when I was in Karnataka in my school days Maharashtra, I was staying in Belgaum, the border of Goa. And interestingly, in every Diwali, we used to make, there is a, we used to celebrate Diwali along with the fort making. There was a Maharaja, the Shivaji Maharaj was from that region, the Maharashtra borders. So we used to make forts, the hill, then the small town, and we used to put a lot of small models of houses, theaters, all the way we see the city. And interestingly, in my school days, I used to enjoy making those models.
Okay.
So I made, I used to make on Diwali the streets and then the small houses. And theater was the most complex thing. Those days there were no internet or there were multiplex also. There were the bigger theaters. So I used to make a model of the theater. So not only every street we used to have this fort making happens and there was a competition that this street won. So I was amongst the popular one. The all other street guys used to call me and they used to ask me to make those model for houses, the theater.
Okay.
Interestingly, in that process, on the vacation of my 10th, my uncle who was staying in Gujarat, Baroda, he was traveling to Goa. And on the way to Goa, he took a halt. The Goa is about 200 kilometers from Belgaum. So in his stay to Belgaum, he saw me making those models.
Okay.
And he was surprised that Hitesh, I am making my home in Baroda. And my architect is doing similar. He does the model before making a house.
Right.
I was genuinely surprised and that was the first time I heard the word architect.
When you were in 10th standard?
When I was in 10th standard.
Okay.
And he told me that Hitesh, the architect is, I said, what is that? He said, yeah, before making any residence or anything, the 3D model is been made with this, the similar way what you are making the models here. I was so happy and impressed that there is some career where I can make models and live my life. So when then the story started like there was no architecture college there. So the boy grown up in Karnataka suddenly landed 11th in Baroda and I prepared for architecture entrance exams and then got the admission and rest everything has happened. But when I look back, I feel that it was not me who decided to become an architect. It was it was his call that this boy is meant to become an architect. That love of making the models has made me become an architect. मुझे आर्किटेक्ट मतलब मैंने सोचा नहीं था कभी कि ये आर्किटेक्चर या आर्किटेक्ट क्या है बट ये ऊपर वाले ने शायद मेरे अंकल के थ्रू मैसेज भिजवाया था कि बच्चा तू यू टू बिकम एन आर्किटेक्ट टू डू दिस
so you were roughly around 13-14 years at the time in the 10th standard.
14-year-old boy who never knew. My dad had a building material business, so I had an inclination to become a civil engineer. I thought that after I'll finish my schooling, I will become a civil engineer because I had love and passion for building materials and because dad was into that business. He was selling roof tiles, the terracotta roof tiles in the entire Maharashtra region. So I was connected to buildings and the materials and all. But the architecture, I must say that it was God's calling through my uncle.
So I'll not be wrong if I'll say that you are not practicing since you become the architect, but you are practicing way before it.
Yes.
Not even your 10th standard. 10th standard, you got that connection with your uncle, but before that also you are designing the model.
Running from 6th, 7th.
6th,
and
7th.
I used to participate in those model. Fort making competition was a big thing in Maharashtra borders and Karnataka. So every Diwali there used to be like jury happening. They used to come and visit all the streets Also, we used to win, and that's how. I must say that it's something which from sixth standard till today I celebrate, and every model you make it gives me the similar excitement.
Lovely, lovely. So your experience is way too much since
Yeah, you
your
can say that.
sixth standard. So from your sixth standard to till the date, anything, something, the moment which is still with you, वो moment आप कभी भी नहीं भूल पाए हो within this journey.
I believe I brought up in, as I said, Karnataka, Belgaum, and it's a very small town. I've done I have a hands-on experience. My friends used to be a farmer's son, or from all background or all the surroundings of people. And they were from the different typology of profession.
Right.
So when I used to go to their home, saw them, the mother doing that lipan, chanu lipan, correct? So that cow dung you do
Yes,
that
yes,
lipan.
yes, yes, yes.
So they used to get the water from the well. So all that processes there happened. I enjoyed doing it in Belgaum. And when first time to become an architect, is when my uncle came and he said that you should become an architect. I also felt good that fine, this is going to be my life. I will enjoy doing this. But then on 11th, I came to know that there is no architecture college in Belgaum those days, Karnataka.
Right.
So I was supposed to come to Gujarat, and my first, I had to leave Belgaum, the place where I born and brought up, and I never been to Gujarat. So I believe that moment was little emotional. Matlab I cried like a small child that I'll be going to a place which I have never seen, and as soon as I landed, that moment I still remember that on the railway station when my dad came to drop me, and with my uncle I was supposed to come, and that moment I believe I thought I'm living my whole world, something a small boy in 11th standard.
Yes, it's
But
a very big thing at the
yes.
time. Living without your parents at the 10th standard very suddenly is not
And
something
without
very simple.
even the place where I'm going, never saw, though being a Gujarati, never saw Gujarat. So a very I don't know, some kind of unpredictable, a different kind of a feeling.
Right.
But one only happiness was that I'm going to do something for the
Which I
life
love.
which I love. So I think that moment, that train, all used to see the surrounding, the whole bogie, and everybody was seeing that the 10th standard boy is crying like a kiddo. It was like a small child. So I think that moment is still within me.
So
And I
that
thank
journey.
God that sometimes that time was unpredictable future, which gave me later on. When I look back, I feel that मन का हो तो अच्छा, मन का ना हो तो और भी अच्छा. That he has something big thought for you which you never, you don't know.
So since last so many years, it's not lesser than 40 years, I believe.
Yeah.
So कोई ऐसी चीज जो आपकी प्रैक्टिस में पूरा completely चेंज हो गया since that 6th standard boy to today's a well-known personality in the city, a good practitioner of architects, something which is changed from that boy to this person?
I think I started unlearning and learning. What happens is you have preconceived thought process, impressions. What we are today is basically our impressions of past. Like wherever I have grown, then wherever I studied. Fortunate again that architecture in Kalabhavan, a fantastic old heritage building. So many, these impressions, ultimately what we do today is impression of what we have
Yes.
lived our life. What today, what I feel is that I learn to unlearn. Means otherwise you
Learn to unlearn.
Yes.
Okay.
See, if you want to become a good architect, a good human, or good in your relations, what happens is we become too predictable, too prototype, and you stop evolving. You know, I communicate
Right.
similar thing. So that is, I believe, that's a death. The bottom line I learned that from past few years, I got that inclination to unlearn things and try to learn something which you have never explored. So that makes you, with your definitely the ethics or your certain belief remains with you, but then you don't try to practice within that frame of life or that frame of thought process that allow you to evolve something which you have never ever evolved, and that gives you surprise, happiness for new creativity, something which you feel that I'm putting to my client, to my city or to my state or to larger context to the community that is never explored. So
Right.
that is I think what I believe
It's
is a
been
change.
changed.
Yeah, it's the
Got
change.
it, got it. And can you just help us that how to do that? If I want to learn today from you that how to learn to unlearn, how to do that?
Yeah, I'll explain you. Like say if I get up initially, what say I get a project. I relate it with the architecture
Yeah, yeah, for
for
sure.
that matter. That something say today I've got a chance to design on a 10,000 square feet of a plot and X family members, X requirement, this that, and you try to follow definitely the basic typology
Hmm.
or thought process is very well evolved. That you climatology you take care, brief you take care of the material palette. But what happens once I get similar clients for second, third, fourth time?
Hmm.
Then you
Hmm.
try to become a prototype.
Hmm.
That fine. 10,000 square feet north facing road. You have similar two children, or somebody has three children or one children.
Hmm.
Rest requirements remains the same.
Right.
The family is also Patel. Say even I
Yeah,
go to
yeah.
that depth that I'm working for a Gujarati or a Marwadi or a Rajasthani. You take care of all that.
Right,
But
right.
then what happens? The similar from that region when we work, we get new clients from the same region,
Right.
some same
Right.
typology.
Right.
Sometimes you are as an architect, you become basically you are into that prison of your own thought process.
Hmm.
My next
Hmm.
project or a third project gives a similar absolutely
Replication.
which is I believe is sometimes uh, I always feel as a creative person it is a cheating to with myself
Lovely.
and to
Lovely.
my client also. Then we is coming to you. Every individual is different. The God has made maybe I don't know what is our 600 crore, 700 crore
700
humans,
crore, yes.
and they say that all of us look different, all of us behave differently, all of us have taste different. How can my four clients should have the similar kind of design with little bit of change? It's something you. So that I realized, and then I used to put my efforts that fine, I've designed this house, so let me now delete the whole process of designing and let me think beyond the way I have designed this project and the next with my all principles of climatology, the material palette or a brief. Obviously, that has to be justified. Yet, the identity, like we both look different, and that should be very unique. And to do that, you have to unlearn what you have already done. Otherwise, it has to come as a replica of, or maybe as a client, you might not feel, but as an architect, we surely feel that with some 10, 20, 30% here and there, you try to make the same thing, which is I think so. That's how to unlearn and then learn something which allow me to create something which gives me happiness, and then surely it is celebrated with client and everybody.
But what a lovely perspective you have shown us today is that God has created 700 crore different faces. Then how can I make 700 same houses? I have to make each and every house is a different
Yes.
house as per his personality, his lifestyle, his thought process, his family. So lovely, lovely. So if somebody is not knowing you, if somebody is completely out of the world of architecturing or is making his home first time, then if he wants to know your design style, how would you represent that?
Very interesting question. I think what we live is as a human. I born, then gradually you started learning. You learn words when any child we learn words. Then we start understanding the expressions. The boy start speaking. He start acting.
Yes, yes.
Then you start learning food. eating food, like your mother starts with some basic food, and when we grow, what we understand is, as an individual, we enjoy the experience.
Hmm.
That is, a human life is what I can nutshell. I can say that human life is about enjoying the experience of experiencing everything. And experience comes from what? That comes from food, travel, or the spaces what we live in.
Right.
So technically, where you live, the every smallest of thing, and that experience is not just. I don't say that it is a two-dimensional experience. Human is the only creature which can experience thing in three dimension. That means we enjoy X, Y, Z axis. We enjoy all the materials, textures, light. So for any architectural project, the architect's role, or I feel my role is first to visualize that experience. That what is the experience that I want to create, not the two-dimensional plan or not the interiors. It's about you visualizing the, say for example, I'm designing a home or a school building or a hotel. So wherever you go to your home, so technically it's designed for the owners, their social identity,
Right.
and it starts with the entrance. Say if you enter from your home, I've designed my office. I'll share a few pictures with you where I thought it's an interesting story that when you design. So I thought that when I go to my office, what do I need? I as I grown up in Belgaum, Karnataka, I enjoy connecting with the nature.
Yes.
I feel that when I go my office, I should connect with that nature. Then from every corner of my office, I should be connected. I cannot draw a line if I'm not connected. I cannot see sky or I cannot see tree. If you close, I stay in a corporate office and I have artificial light. I feel that I
There's a suffocation
feel
for me.
disconnected, and not me. Any human, I found rare. I never found anybody who says that I want to live in a enclosed environment with only artificial light or only artificial things. The human is basically made up of five tattva, and all these are five tattva is where we begin our life and we end our life.
Right.
My table has been made designed with those tattva. The table base
Oh.
is basically that our Agni, Vayu, Prithvi, all these tattva is the table which intersects and the table mounts on that. That reminds me that Hitesh, your role is to balance these five elements of life.
So you have designed
Yeah,
your
yeah.
office table in such way.
With that,
Lovely.
which has the leg, and it's not just the inlay of it, but it's a leg, and on which the table lies. And I thought the day I start my practice and I end, when I will depart from this world, this should remind me. And a beautiful design is balance of these five elements, where you balance all these Prithvi, Agni, Vayu. See, it's light is what? It's basically a Agni or a space. So Prithvi is your floor or so all the element when you design a human experience is the best way to, as an architect, you are supposed to balance those experience using these
All
five
dimensions.
elements of life. And I believe as an architect, for a layman, I must say, to make it simple, that it is not making about a plan, it is about a designer visualizing or experiencing that space, and that space you convert into then plan. And for doing that, you need to have a good knowledge of architecture, structure, landscape, interior. There are no different fields. Unfortunately, the man has made architecture college interior landscape structure. It is not. It is an amalgamation of all these fields, and then only you can transform that visualize human experience into reality. I tried doing it in my office, where I think while climbing my staircase, I thought I should connect with the nature. So I have planted a staircase. I floated from
Oh.
my wall and took the bamboos from the ground. So when I go, I reach my office landing. I touch the bamboos. I see the chidiya ऊपर बैठी हुई. So all that, then you landing to your office in my cabin, I can again overlook. मतलब that all five elements reminds me that Hitesh, you have to balance this. You sit, you have a skylight on the staircase side, which gives me a sun path, that east to west. The sun moves from tilted towards south. So I enjoy every month. Sitting on my cabin, I can see that it's which month and how the sun is tilted. So the tilt also changes month wise.
Right.
Uttarayan, we
Right.
know that.
Yes.
We have that wind changes, the sun angle changes. So all that when you design your home, office, school, anything, or an industry, if you take care of all that, you connect as an architect your every user to those natural element of life. And I think that is what a role of an architect is. Even the industry has been designed with that vision, that instead of a typical dead building, we have designed an industry with a skylight, a courtyard. The person coming as a worker, if you lock him at 8 o'clock, he enters in the shed. He works and he go out in the evening. The sun, poor guy, doesn't know how the sun moves, or he's disconnected with the nature. The industry designed with such thought process is. I got so much of positive uh, thanking, appreciation from so many workers and all that. The old factory where we were working, and today and I enjoy connecting with them, asking them, and that it's a real time human experience that how it is. So I think as an architect, for my conveying a simple way of design is to think, visualize space in human experience perspective, and then convert it into reality. It works absolutely well.
So it's not just your design style is to design 2D and 3D drawings. First, visualize the experience
Yes.
within your mind and then try to create in the reality.
Yes.
Is something is
I tell
showing.
my team, sorry, but I tell my team that, see, God has, we are fortunate one. There are very few who can travel in space. सबको ये नसीब नहीं होता, मतलब हमको जो है बनने के पहले वहाँ घूमने का मौका मिलता है. और अगर इफ यू वांट, तो मतलब अगर अच्छा आर्किटेक्ट बनना है तो पहले वो घूमना सीख लो. हमारे पास तो प्लान आता है जाके पहले. आई डोंट स्टार्ट वर्किंग बिफोर आई एंजॉय. आई गो एंड अंडरस्टैंड द स्पेस, जो प्लॉट लोकेशन जो भी है कोई भी प्रोजेक्ट के लिए हो, वो मतलब वंस यू विजिट देयर एंड देन वर्चुअली यू ट्रैवल. वर्चुअली आपने पूरा घूम लिया है.
Right.
और फिर तो कितना सिंपल है.
So now you know the every inch of that space.
Yes.
And then you are designing
एंड
the
उसमें
entire
घूम
experience.
चुके हैं वर्चुअली, नॉट फिजिकली. वर्चुअली हवा में घूमे कि यहाँ से एंटर करूंगा, यहाँ पे मैंने मतलब दबे ऐसे दिन मैं ऑफिस की यहाँ मैं रखूंगा, यहाँ से मेरी सीढ़ी चढ़ूंगा तो यहाँ पत्ते होंगे, पेड़ होंगे, चिड़िया होगी, यहाँ पे मेरे बुद्धा, मतलब जो कहीं मतलब बाली से कहीं से लिया. आई वांटेड कि रोज सुबह इनको देख के मैं मेरे ऑफिस में आएंगे. तो ऑल दैट स्मॉल स्मॉल थिंग्स, बट आई थिंक दैट वर्चुअल थॉट प्रोसेस कन्वर्टिंग इनटू a real plan makes the real a live design.
आप ऑलवेज कहते हैं कि सिंपल आइडियाज क्रिएट बेस्ट डिजाइन. व्हाट दैट सेंटेंस इज मीनिंग फॉर यू?
इट इज़ टेक्निकली बहुत ज़्यादा एफर्ट्स की ज़रूरत नहीं है. मतलब समटाइम्स व्हाट हैपेंस, वी ट्राई कि जस्ट टू प्रूव योरसेल्फ, यू नो. कई बार एज ए ह्यूमन, एज एन आर्किटेक्ट और एज ए क्लाइंट एक ईगो होता है हर बार कि कुछ अलग दिखाना है. सो जब दिखाने के लिए कुछ बनता है ना, कुछ दिखाने के लिए, और इफ आई वांट टू प्रूव समथिंग, देन यू ट्राई टू पुट लॉट ऑफ एफर्ट्स एंड यू ट्राई टू क्रिएट समथिंग विच इज नॉट रिक्वायर्ड टू बी मेड. उतनी एफर्ट्स की जरूरत नहीं है. व्हाट आई रियलाइज विथ टाइम दैट यू अंडरस्टैंड द क्लाइंट ओवरऑल perspective, his journey, his family, his background, his culture. Similarly, as an architect, you understand that how you want to make him experience now his existence. Like you,
Right,
definitely,
right,
it is a pride for anybody. आप अगर you are making your industry, office, or a home, so it's after a lot of efforts. Luckily, the client when comes to us, उसके 10-20 साल की 25 साल की मेहनत होती है. when he earns some money, he earns some status, and then he comes to us. So social identity is fine, but it is not necessary to make a complex building and give that, which might sometime look good for a smaller phase of time. कई बार है ना पुराने, मतलब what we see the architecture of मतलब हमारे काफ़ी सारे एग्जाम्पल्स है जो सिंपली मेड से टेम्पल्स होते हैं, मतलब architectural monuments होते हैं या buildings होते हैं which appeals you for a longer period because they have been made with a very sensitive design, not a hard put efforts से कुछ complex बनाने के लिए नहीं बनाना चाहिए. So that is what the thought process is.
So nowadays, clients are exploring lots of things, Pinterest, Instagram, and things would come from them. So आपके पास भी आपके clients आते ही होंगे Pinterest, Instagram से एक पिक्चर लेके and they would try to implement that thing from you कि आप ये बना दूंगा वो कर दो. So at that time, what is your approach in that case? And normally they are saying कि यार ये अच्छा लग रहा है. And normally how I can understand you now is what actually works is what more matter than what actually looks good. So how do you tackle that thing?
I correct it a little bit. Actually, see what happens is nowadays Instagram और सोशल मीडिया इज अ मीडिया टू कम्युनिकेट. जैसे हम लोग कभी वर्ड्स में बात कर रहे हैं.
Right.
एक मेरा क्लाइंट है जिसने जिंदगी में कभी कोई प्रोजेक्ट बनाया ही नहीं है, घर नहीं बनाया, इंटीरियर नहीं किया. हाउ डू यू एक्सपेक्ट हिम टू कम्युनिकेट? उसको मैं बोलूँगा आपको कंटेम्प्रेरी चाहिए, क्लासिकल चाहिए. सी दीज आर माई वर्ड्स विच आई लर्न इन आर्किटेक्चर. हाउ डू आई एक्सपेक्ट? और वो भी पूरी फैमिली, जहाँ पे दादा शायद है जिनकी उम्र 75 साल है, उन्होंने कभी कोई. एंड आई बिलीव दैट एवरी वन हैज़ अ राइट टू. एंड द सन मेकिंग अ होम मे बी 55 साल का है, बेटी है 20-25 साल के बच्चे हैं. एंड अभी नाउ इफ 3 generations हैज़ टू लिव देयर. एंड आई तो एन्जॉय बेसिकली. आई रादर इनिशिएट. आई टेल माई टीम कि डोंट, हमको इरिटेट नहीं होना चाहिए. और नाइदर आई डोंट से इरिटेट, बट हमको रादर वी प्रमोट देम. वी मेक अ क्लाइंट ग्रुप. वी आस्क देम. जो दादा है, कई बार आजकल तो दादा ऑल्सो दे लर्न, मतलब दे आर सोशल मीडिया में इतने एक्टिव है, 70-75 साल के. वी टेल देम कि आपके लिए आपका घर कैसा होना चाहिए, प्लीज शेयर सम इमेजेस. सन, द फादर, द पर्सन हु इज फाइनेंसिंग इट, उनको उनका डेटा लेते हैं, उनके बच्चों से लेते हैं. एंड देन वी ट्राई टू एजुकेट देम. से दीज आर ओनली वर्चुअल कॉन्टेक्स्ट. मतलब जैसे घर है वो पूरा एक्सपीरियंस की चीज़ है. तो आई टेक पॉइंट्स विच आई फील आर गुड फॉर यू इन टर्म्स ऑफ visual identity. Sometimes you like something visually, and sometimes that pictures are not. मतलब if you explain that some pictures looks good, but you explain the client कि these materials used in this or the facade, जो जैसे कोई curvilinear facade है, डस्ट यहाँ accumulate होगा या temporary material में बना है, कि जो शायद इन विथ वेदर कॉन्टेक्स्ट 60 डिग्री में हमारा वेदर है तो 10 डिग्री से 40 डिग्री के बीच वेरिएशन हो रहा है, तो यहाँ पे फसाड, लकड़े के फसाड कोई लेके आ रहा है, तो हमारे एक्सपांशन कॉन्ट्रैक्शन होता है. कि नॉट यूज अ सिंपल, बट व्हेन दे शेयर इट, you educate them, or there is a bonding and the confidence built, and then that journey goes. Normally any project, इवन इंडस्ट्री कर रहा हूँ, किसी का ऑफिस बना रहा हूँ, स्कूल बना रहे हैं, घर बना रहे हैं, 1 साल तो मिनिमम लग जाता है. एंड दैट जर्नी ऑफ 1.5 year, इफ यू दोनों कन्वर्सेशन ही नहीं हो रहा है, तो कहाँ से, मतलब बोथ ऑफ अस, हाउ कैन वी अचीव समथिंग विच विल बी enjoyed by both of us, and they will remember you for life. So I think initially, to initiate the conversation, it is a very good media. But then as an architect, your role to educate them, to bring, and sometimes there are few good references which I have also learned from them. It is not about I have preconceived thought process. No.
And you clearly mentioned that unlearn.
Exactly. So
you have already learned
exactly
how to unlearn.
Yes.
So that is not a challenge for you.
Exactly. So it's a fantastic way of It's basically belongingness. The Dada feels that I am a part of design. I've
contributed something.
I'm contributed something.
Yes.
Same with all the generation.
Yes, and things are working over there according to me. So that gives that
exactly
satisfaction.
So it's a human.
Yes, it is required. It is required.
Exactly.
So the boy who came here when he was in 11th standard and landed in Vadodara. Since so many years you are here. So what Vadodara is playing role in this entire architecturing journey?
Big role. I must say that I am fortunate that my uncle was living here. He was making a home and he brought me to Baroda. And Baroda had an architecture college. When I did my architecture, there were only 3 colleges. Vidyanagar, MS University, I think JJ School of Architecture, SEPT. In Gujarat, there are only 3 colleges.
Okay.
And interestingly, the Kala Bhavan, I studied in a college used to call Kala Bhavan.
Okay.
Kala Bhavan was an old palace. Maharaja Sayaji Rao gave it.
In Vadodara?
Yes. The architecture college was in that campus.
Okay.
Where the old palace given on some 1 rupees lease to MS University by our Maharaja. And I was fortunate to study in such a building which was made in 1870 by Robert Chisholm, and beautiful jacquards. There were no RCC. Those 1870, there was no cement was invented. So jacquards, the walls, exposed brick, stone, and all that been explored from the surrounding areas. So first is my college, then the city, the Nyay Mandir, again a court building made in similar era. It was 1870 to 1900. All these buildings were made in Baroda by Maharaja Sayajirao. The music college, oldest music college of the country. Then our second biggest brick dome in the country. One is a gold gumbaz and second is a commerce faculty. So if you are fortunate to start your career or studies from a city where it has a fantastic, strong architectural influence and the timelessness. I have learned through Baroda that what is called timelessness. We are designed to design buildings which last beyond our lives. We all travel Europe. Why the UK? That we enjoy seeing the architecture which was constructed 200, 300, 400 years back. Unfortunately, the country never produced after independence. If we look at the buildings, we have fort. If you saw the old city of Bombay, this fort building. I have one habit that this Baroda taught me, that I travel at night after 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. I mean, any city in the world. 1 o'clock, I start my journey.
At 1 a.m.
morning. Yeah.
Okay.
To explore the architecture of that place without any hustle bustle of the people.
Traffic,
I just
people.
enjoy clicking, sketching, and I understand that how these architects must have thought that these buildings last for 130, 50, 200. So it's such a fantastic lesson for us, which started from Baroda. That Baroda had all these buildings, which I used to go in the say evening hour, but then a lot of people. So in college days, I used to say, यार शांति से दिखना है. तो फिर रात को जाता था. तो वो हैबिट बन गया. अंदर एक बिल्डिंग देखा, मजा आया कि यार रात में तो ये मतलब शांति से डिटेलिंग समझ में आता था कि how these buildings were being thought. कोई स्टोन में बने हैं यहाँ पे मतलब the buildings are made in brick, stone, as I told you, the brick domes and so many buildings which are 150 years old in Baroda. Even I think we have that gates made. The old city was within that 4 gates. The first gate was, I think, made by some Mughal emperor in 1560. It exists here.
Oh.
So, the city, if you grow in such city, you study in such city, that has influenced me to teach that architecture is something which impact people for years to come beyond our lives. And if we play that role, that is, I think, what the way we discuss that God has sent us to do our job honestly. So client doesn't understand that. But if I play that role to make his building, his school, office, whatever the typology of building, but beyond his identity, beyond his happiness, everything. But after that, if I can make a building which lasts maybe 200, 300 years, 400 years, that will contribute into architecture of the city, the architecture of the state. Everybody will take a pride of it.
Yes.
So I think
this is what we are talking about. Exactly. Buildings are made 200, 300 years ago. Still we are talking about it after 300 years also.
And sometimes we feel bad that why we think the short thinking where the building deteriorates, and it is I think we are creating a city urbanscape which is going to affect all of us. So we all have that role, and let us play whatever way we can.
So how you are making it possible that building lasts for very long, not just very short of span, 5 years, 10 years, and what kind of materials you are preferring more towards, because the material will play a big role over there.
It's very simple. See, technically, as I told you, when we look around, so these all buildings are already there. They are already proved. When somebody say that guarantee, permanent materials are the natural materials. I'm not saying natural in terms of you try to take out the resources in raw manner, intelligently. But yes, the cheapest permanent facade is something which we have learned. Facade means the skin, the way our skin is there. Any building has a skin.
Right.
So we talk about first is the skin, because it is the outer facade which will take it will take thrust of rain, sun, weather, and for years. So what happens is that material, when I have seen some material which are been exist from last 200 years, 300 years. Taj Mahal has a natural facade from 500 years. You know, you have terracotta temples in Calcutta, 1000
Years.
AD. Yeah, it's a 1000-year old temples are there made in terracotta. So these all, so terracotta is again a fired clay, which if you do it properly, that bricks exist from 1000 years back. The temple is being made. So you have already all these examples. Then studied the Baroda, and then after that become a habit. So I started traveling major cities of India, and then a little bit of international travel happened, and that all has taught me that try to find out the material which is already existing. They've proven themselves. So why not to use those material which is going to give me facade which will last definitely. जो अगर 500 साल पुराना देखा है तो 500 तो चलने ही वाला है.
Yes, we don't
You don't have to, there is no brainer.
Yes.
Similar is your flooring. That comes the interior palette of material. Which you talk about, say flooring. If I talk about the floor, bathrooms, door windows, furniture. So all these materials again are Taj Mahal flooring. I visited thrice. First
3 times.
Yeah, first obviously, but then one was when I was in college.
Okay.
Then I become an architect. Then recently 5 years back, I learned that every time when I visited, my perspective has changed. Third time when I visited, I thought, how come a Shahjahan must have brought the material which is also Sangam near white. तो यार उन्होंने तो मतलब राजा थे तो शायद सब पूरा white लेके आए होंगे. Interestingly, और सब बड़े साइज के ले आए होंगे. नहीं, वहाँ ताजमहल थर्ड टाइम जब देखा मैंने, when I made so many projects, I realized कि यार कितना पेन लिया हुआ शाहजहां ने. Let me think as a perspective of an architect कि कैसे मटेरियल लाए होंगे. You believe that it's not pure white. मतलब it is the way we make or we bring the marble. उनमें भी दाग है, उसमें भी बड़े साइज है, उसमें भी छोटे साइज है. He also thought and made the selections and the choices. तो आया था तो सब उन्होंने भी इंटेलिजेंटली कि मेन अंदर की जगह पे use a bigger size, a whiter material, the darker materials on the periphery, the way any architect design.
Right.
So it's so interesting to study all these aspects. जो आपको सिखाएगा इंटीरियर मटेरियल्स, द पाइप. मुझे क्लाइंट पूछते कि सर ये टीकवुड का आप जो विंडो उदय हमारे यहाँ पे बहुत है. इंटरेस्टिंगली इफ यू नो, मतलब क्लाइंट के यहाँ पे कोई उदय है तो बोलेंगे सर लकड़ा थोड़ा संभाल के यूज करिए. आपको पता है कि ताजमहल का फुटिंग क्या है? कंक्रीट तो था नहीं उस जमाने में.
Right.
यमुना नदी के किनारे पे है.
Right.
तो क्या होगा उसका फुटिंग? टीकवुड के पाइल्स है, मतलब टीकवुड के खंबे, सागवुड के खंबे जमीन पे ड्रिल करके अंदर डाले, दैट इज कॉल्ड पाइल. आजकल हम लोग कंक्रीट पाइल फुटिंग करते हैं. उन जमाने में घुमा के उन्होंने टीकवुड के पाइल फुटिंग पे लाइम चूने के उससे पैड बना के पूरा ताजमहल खड़ा किया, जो 600 साल सागवान के नदी किनारे पे पाइल पे खड़ा है. सो व्हाट अ बिग लेसन एंड लर्निंग फॉर अस, that how to use and what to use the material.
Right. And still it's lasting.
And still it's lasting. So many earthquakes, so many
crores of people are visiting every year.
And ऐसे मेरे ख्याल से हिंदुस्तान is rich with such fantastic architecture in all over the city, all over the country. उसका स्टडी खाली आप अगर डिटेल में कर लो, मतलब बिलीव मी वी हैव एवरीथिंग टू, मतलब दैट इज अ लेसन, लाइव लेसन फॉर अस फ्रॉम इयर्स. जो खाली हम लोग अगर मतलब उसको इम्प्लीमेंट करके उसको इवॉल्व होते जाए तो मुझे लगता है अवर बिल्डिंग्स विल बी श्योरली और टाइमलेस. जो पैलेट की आपने बात हमने की, वो नेचुरल लाइट. अभी मैं आई विल ट्राई टू ब्रिंग लाइट, मतलब एनर्जी एफिशिएंट लाइट फिक्चर लाऊंगा. अरे नॉर्थ लाइट पूरा पहले यूज करो. यू डोंट नीड नेचुरल लाइट अगर आपने सही डायरेक्शन में लिया है, विच कैन लीड योर हाउस कूल लाइट. नॉट साउथ नहीं, वेस्ट नहीं, बट साउथ वेस्ट आई एम ब्रिंगिंग द नेचुरल एयर विद सम फिल्टर. जाली पैलेसेस आर टीचिंग मी कि इतने सुंदर जाली है, कॉम्प्रेस्ड एयर आती है, ठंडी होके आती है, वो हार्श गर्म हवा को ड्रॉप करता है टेम्परेचर. So all that lessons, believe me, you can apply in every typology of our project, and matlab, your house or your space speak that. Matlab, you can experience it everything what you want to explore.
Then again, I'm connecting to that one particular of your sentence. Learn to unlearn. Whenever you are entering into any space, forget everything what you have learned. Just learn from there what they have used and what is working from them
Yes.
for them since last so many years, and just start using it. So amongst this, all the projects since last so many years you are doing, any specific project which is very close to your heart?
Yeah, I can say there are not one, but I think two or three. Quickly, I'll share it to you. First is I got one footwear showroom.
Footwear shop.
Footwear showroom
Okay.
in a mid of the city, old city of Baroda. The client having, I'll share these pictures also to you. You will like it. So there are there was a building. When the father gave half portion to one son and half portion to another son.
Okay.
So both were doing the footwear. One guy decided I will have a female footwear show, and one was a male. So the guy, one brother already made the building. The another boy, who somehow came to know with some references, he thought that I am the right guy to design interior designing of his showroom. He approached me and said, Hitesh, sir, I want you to design my interior. I visited the place, and surprisingly I saw that the building was again 1880.
Oh.
It was made in 1880. It was an old building, Gayakwadi building, bought by the great-grandfather. He gave the transfer. I realized that there was no cement, nothing. So facade was lime plaster, but highly deteriorated. Means only one portion, small window was visible. In it was conveying the heritage of that facade. Interior, the jack arch brick. You know, the old days we used to make a brick arches. Jack arch we used to call jack arch. And on that they used to make us that lime jamra. So that was there was no slab. So that arch was taking the load.
Okay.
So instead of slab, that brick arches were the floors. They made in between they made a girder, and they put old days, you know, the old footwear showroom.
Yeah.
They used to store
Right,
up and they used to throw it from there.
Yes.
I visited, I saw, I said, give me one ladder. I checked that there was a jack arch up and there was a mezzanine floor. Facade was his lime plaster and all. I told him that I found a fantastic potential. I thought again same thing. That client, I thought he doesn't know what he has, the treasure. I said, let us do. I will surely design your interior, and whatever the commercial terms we decided for interiors. I said, but only one my only one शर्त एक मेरी एक शर्त है नहीं शर्त थी
अच्छा कंडीशन
थी मैंने बोला अगर फसाड आप डिजाइन करने दोगे तो फसाड आपका मैं और उसका मैं कुछ फीस नहीं लूंगा आपका फसाड बट नहीं बोले वो बाजू का किया ना कंपोजिट पैनल एल्यूमिनियम का लगा वैसे ही लगा देंगे नहीं इफ आई हैव टू डू इट ये फसाड मुझे दो और इंटीरियर तो मैं करूंगा जो हमने ऑलरेडी डिसाइड कर लिया फसाड में फ्री में कर रहा हूँ और खर्चा मैं आपको बाजू से कम करवाऊंगा बट मुझे करने देना है आपको ये अग्री फाइन नो प्रॉब्लम वी डिजाइन दैट बिल्डिंग आई विल शेयर पिक्चर्स व्हिच विल जस्टिफाई इंटरेस्टिंगली वी आई उनके बेटे को मैंने कॉन्फिडेंस में लिया द यंगर फादर को शायद मुझे लगा नहीं समझ में आएगा उनको बोला ये मेजरनाइन निकाल देंगे तेरा मालिया जो है वो योर जैकाच उसके ऊपर का चूने का प्लास्टर निकाल देंगे विल ब्रिंग दैट ब्रिक एक्सपोज कर देंगे
अच्छा दैट विजिबिलिटी विल
हाँ और उसको लिट करेंगे ये हाइट वॉल्यूम बढ़ गया एंड दिस इज माय नेचुरल सीलिंग द जैकार्च इज द ग्लोरी ऑफ दिस बिल्डिंग जो 150 साल पहले बनी है इसको तो छुपाना नहीं चाहिए दैट्स योर हेरिटेज और मैं मतलब मुझे ये करना है एंड सेकेंडली बाहर का फसाड है ये जो एक विंडो है ना मैं लाइन प्लास्टर वाले कारीगर उदयपुर से मैं मंगवा लूंगा सबको रोजी पे पेमेंट करेंगे तुम्हारा फसाड का इसका कैलकुलेशन पापा से नक्की कर लो उससे कम में ये मैंने वी ब्रॉट एंटायर फसाड ब्लैक बैक दैट लाइन प्लास्टर और वो पूरा रिस्टोर किया पूरा फसाड एंड इंटीरियर ऑल्सो वी ब्रॉट दैट जैकार्च एंड मतलब द डे it is absolutely, you feel that it's been made in 1900th century. That store, the footwear store, and this father, initially his father is confused कि यार ये क्या कर रहे हैं, चूने का प्लास्टर निकाल रहे हैं।
Visualization शायद
वो
उनको नहीं
बेटे को पता था नहीं, पापा को हमने छुपाया था उनसे
अच्छा
कि वो समझेंगे नहीं, तो उनको तो ये था कि हम बोल रहे थे वो कच्चा हो गया, प्लास्टर वापस करना है, वो करेंगे बाद में, करेंगे बाद में, पूरा हो गया ना तो ही रियलाइज के देन ही वाज सो इम्प्रेस्ड। ओपनिंग के दिन, जिस दिन इनॉग्रेशन था, द फादर केम टू मी, बोले सर आप बैठिए ना। मैं बैठा, मुझे लगा कुछ आइसक्रीम और जो कोल्ड ड्रिंक, तो एक फूट का जूते का एक पेयर लेके आए और नीचे बैठ गए और मेरे पैर में जूते पहनाने लगे। तो मैं खड़ा हो गया, बोला मेरे से उम्र में बड़े, बोला अंकल क्या कर रहे हैं आप, ये मत, मतलब दिस इज नॉट।
yes yes
ही सेड नहीं, हमारा रिचुअल होता है कि हम, हमारा पहला ग्राहक होता है ना जो, उसको हम हमारे हाथ से पहनाते हैं। एंड आई कंसिडर यू समबडी हु हैज चेंज माई लाइफ। मैंने सपने में भी नहीं सोचा था कि ये मेरा ऐसा कुछ आप, आई क्राइड ऑन दैट डे, मतलब ही सेड के एंड मैं पूरा होने के बाद, बट ही सेड नहीं सर आप बैठो, मुझे मतलब, एंड ही सेड के सर मतलब दिस इज, और आप मुझे 101 रुपया दो, मतलब इट्स लाइक यू आर माई फर्स्ट क्लाइंट एंड माई, आई वॉन्ट कि मतलब वो रिचुअल में किसी और को नहीं, आपसे ही करवा सकता हूँ कि ये आपने मेरी लाइफ बदल दी।
he was so emotional at that moment and he made you more emotional than you.
सो आई बिलीव इन ऑनेस्टी से कुछ, जो सोच से, जो मतलब इफ यू वर्क दैट वर्क्स एंड दैट कनेक्ट्स। उसके बाद ही स्टार्टेड मेकिंग, अभी संगम फुटवेयर, उसके अभी थर्ड स्टोर वी आर मेकिंग। फादर इज नो मोर अलाइव, द सन इज देयर एंड they are now on that language. They believe that you brought our, we never thought that this heritage we have, which मतलब आपने कहाँ से ढूंढ के निकाला, और कहाँ से ढूंढ के निकाला, हमारे ही पास तो यहीं बैठते थे पर पता नहीं था। एंड द सन सेड कि मेरे पापा जब तक थे, ही केम एंड मतलब वो कभी भी एक, वो अदरवाइज वो रिटायर जोन में थे, बट ये होने के बाद ही अटेंडेड द शॉप टिल हिज लास्ट, मतलब जब तक वो हमेशा आते थे कि ये जगह उनको जोड़ देती थी। आई थिंक दैट्स व्हाट some memories are like that.
So this is how you are not just designing that space, you are changing the entire people's life, the way they are thinking, their emotions. So many things is getting changed over there.
So when I designed this interesting small project, commercial interior for a footwear showroom, Sangam Footwear, the heritage building which the client never knew, 1872 building is being made. The client was so happy, and that journey was so connected to the client that after 3 years, the client called me. Hitesh sir, I have to share something, fantastic news with you. I was excited that after 3 years, what has happened? That the footwear guy, the owner, has called me. He said, "Sir, the Narendra Modi ji wear the footwear, which is Make in India company, and we are the distributor for that company in Vadodara. We are selling it since long, and the company owner, we never got a chance to talk to the company owners. Being, but we are a small one city, they are selling it pan India, and surprisingly, the owner called me that Sangam Footwear owner. As a owner, he wanted to talk to me on a phone, and he said, "I want to come to Baroda to visit your showroom. That I have heard that you have designed a showroom which is, I think, having a fantastic cultural heritage and a unique of its kind in Pan India. So can I come and visit?" So it was beyond imagination for that client, that the owner for whom I wanted to meet, he never gave an appointment, and suddenly he's calling me. So I think that satisfaction, that client remembers you on his all this positive impact of design, that I think that builds faith in what you are doing. So that is a big example for us.
And I would like to add something here, is that this is the way of nature to give you back. That owner has called you for giving you this news is something which is creating a very good sense of satisfaction towards you. This is the way God has given you that message.
A medal, I can say.
Yes.
That so that satisfaction, I believe, that is beyond a gold medal.
Anything is beyond that. So that moment is very emotional.
Absolutely.
Yes. This is something which is giving you the satisfaction, is that whatever I'm doing.
Yeah.
Earning money is always a secondary thing, but creating
Byproduct.
impact
True.
on the society, on the people
Yeah.
is something
And
else.
Kurag, you connect for life. I think the client remembers you with that positive.
I think not in this way. You are creating impact in other ways also. You are connected with lots of organization. You are connected with religion, institutions, and everything. How do you explain that? How it started?
It is interesting story again that when I was in, I think 5-7 years of my practice, 5-7 साल हुए होंगे practice के, और I somehow connected with ISKCON. Basu Ghosh Prabhu was the president, an American person, converted Indian, और संस्कृत मेरे ख्याल से बहुत कम लोगों को उनके जितना आता होगा. The very knowledgeable guy. Somehow he came to know. They just approached us and asked us to that how can you participate. I think because of my parents and the background, they always taught that Hitesh, we try to contribute little bit of our time or money into this kind
Society.
of society service. So I thought this was my first encounter with such social cause. I thought that I explained him that if given a chance, I believe that I will design your project as a let us plan a master plan, like as if you got a huge corpus with you. Say for example, their annual budget of spending is say 1 crore. I say you have 100 crore in your bank, and then how will you spend? So I thought let us have first of all let us survey your institute. We started with that. We did a basic the land survey, building survey. They never had all the details, and then we made a master plan that I understood their system, how they work. That certain money which they get from the membership that is spent on the capital investment, the money that they earn through their restaurants and the day-to-day activities, they give it back to society. So I thought it's a very good. I understood it, and then we designed their guest house where the members can go and stay. Then that can generate some fund. Then some their Govinda, the restaurant where the Jains and Hindus can, those who वो क्या बोलते हैं प्याज लहसुन बगैर का खाना जो बनता है वो मतलब आई थॉट कि ये बहुत बड़ा एवेन्यू है जो पैसा उनको कमा के देगा. And we design in that same language, and that they can spend on. They are doing मतलब this all calculation has made कि आप पहले ये करो उसके बाद अगले जैसे फंड आएंगे तो 100 करोड़ कैसे खर्चा कर सकते हो, पूरा मास्टर प्लान बनाया. एंड दैट हैज हेल्प्ड देम टू जनरेट लॉट ऑफ फंड्स विच इज अलाउिंग रोज शाम को मेरे ख्याल से 500,000 लोगों को दे गिव फ्री फूड एवरी डे विद दैट जनरेशन ऑफ फंड. स्कूल्स में भिजवाते हैं खाना और मतलब
different initiatives
and you feel peaceful, you feel good that if you can plan and give a master planning to when as an architect it's my day-to-day job. So instead of just somebody approaching you to design a guest house, you go and design only guest house or ISKCON. Tried understanding with him the overall functioning of the institute and then contributing as if I have to plan it for a coming years of funding, how to spend. That has give us a very satisfactory experience. And then after that, Mother Teresa. So many places I try that if I can contribute my now at this age, I at least try the 35% of my time. I wish to contribute to all this society where I can make difference. And ultimately, I believe we have all been given a birth to bring difference in lives.
Yes.
So I think that journey has started. Hope the God will help to connect me more with such institutes.
Yes. So what I can understand from this is that you're not just thinking about specific project, you are thinking in bigger perspective as well as long-term things.
Yes.
That today you might not have that fund within you to develop it, but if you have make anything which is stopping you to do that in future, then you might have not possibilities when you have the fund. कोई ऐसा गलत प्लानिंग हो गया पूरे मास्टर प्लान के अंदर कि जिसकी वजह से जो आप 5 साल के बाद कर सकते हो वो हो सकता है कि आज की वजह से वो ना हो पाए.
Yes.
So you make it possible in bigger perspective also and long term understanding also.
Yes.
So that's
and
very
try
important.
to make a priorities. कि आज नहीं है, कल सडनली सम डोनर कम्स एंड गिव 5 crore रुपये ऑफ चेक, तो जो सोचा है 3 साल बाद होगा वो शायद, तो प्रायोरिटीज जॉट डाउन की हुई है, तो यू नो दैट आई शुड, वी थॉट दैट पहले ये फंड जनरेशन के लिए गोविंदा पहले करते हैं, तो वो पुण्य का काम साथ में शुरू हो जाए, सो देन वी डू अ प्रीमियम, मतलब वो VIP गेस्ट हाउस शायद बाद में बनेगा, सो मास्टर प्लानिंग एंड देन प्रायोरिटी ऑफ हाउ द वर्क शुड प्रोसेस. बजट माइट चेंज बिकॉज आज सोचा हुआ X बजट है, 5 साल बाद 2 साल बाद होगा, तो यू रिव्यू ओनली दैट, बट प्रायोरिटीज भी सेट आउट कर ली पूरी.
Right. So not only designing, you're helping them to prioritize the things also, so they don't need to worry about this part whenever it comes. They just have to execution over there.
Yeah.
So since of this, all the years of experience, all the type of places you have designed, homes, schools, temples, big premises, hotels, hospitals, industries, lots of things you have designed.
Master planning. There is a old city of Jaipur, the retrofit city of Jaipur. Interesting story. And then again, same thing, the walled city of Jaipur. It is within the Parkota बोलते हैं, जो अगेन महाराज मानसिंह ने डिजाइन किया था 1450 और 1470. दैट वॉल्ड सिटी के अंदर का उनको रेट्रोफिट मास्टर प्लान करना.
Okay.
दैट अगेन वाज अ फैंटास्टिक जर्नी. ये सडनली याद आ गया, तो वो मतलब आर्टिजन को इन्वॉल्व किया, आर्ट कैंप बड़ौदा में किया, वो कार्वर्स फ्रॉम जयपुर, बड़ौदा के आर्टिस्ट, स्टोन फ्री में वो स्टोन कंपनी से लिया कि भाई आपका एडवर्टाइज करेंगे, ऑल सिटी स्क्वायर में वो आर्ट लगाए, उनका ब्रांडिंग, आर्टिस्ट का ब्रांडिंग हो रहा है. सो आई थिंक हमारा थोड़ा सा रोल कहीं ना कहीं भी थोड़ा ब्रॉडर पर्सपेक्टिव पे सोचते हैं ना, तो आई ट्राइड, मतलब ऑनेस्टली गिविंग आइडेंटिटी टू माई आर्टिस्ट, जो जिंदगी भर वो परकोटा पे वहाँ पे रहेगा. एनी आर्टिस्ट, एनी बडी वांट्स टू गेट देयर सिमिलर आर्ट देयर. इट वाज नॉट द प्लान का वो प्रोग्राम का प्लान, वो पार्ट नहीं था. I thought as an architect, if I can incorporate certain things,
So you're part of, you very clearly said that you design lots of spaces and you're part of this community also, and nowadays lots of associations are there, kind of architect association, interior designer association. I believe you're part of Triple ID also. In past. So we would like to know about your Triple ID journey and how you created impact over there with that entire community of Triple ID.
Interesting, again a question. I believe after college, when we finish our architecture, you start your practice. When you start working in a real field, you again stop learning. The college ends, you try to observe, you travel, and you try to learn. But this interaction session stops. We had a visiting lecturers, the senior professors from other colleges coming and teaching us. I felt always that interaction is missing somewhere. So I started, after initially you struggle, you run for projects, you have multiple, like you have to establish yourself.
Then, priorities are different at that time.
But then I realized that I think I'm missing that part of my college days, and that has intentionally I started connecting with. I started looking for such institute, and then we have IIA, Institute of Indian Architects, IIID, Institute of Indian Interior Designers. Then we have Kalabhavan Architects Alumni, and I become a member and started participating in all this as a member. But then. Luckily, with few friends were there into managing committees and all, and my good friend in Triple ID, they insisted me to take over as a chairman, and I believe that chairmanship has taught me, that has allowed me to again start that conversation with my fraternity senior architects,
like-minded people,
like-minded practicing architects from not only India, all over the world. We planned and we invited them here with my trade members as well. There are trade members who are part of this IIID, IIE, and I connected with them. That has brought big change in me. That the learning again, learning through conversation, learning through traveling, learning through observation was there. But this conversation with similar professionals, seniors, it has started. And there, when I become a decision maker, become a chairman, then become a council, they invited me into a national body. So I become a part of the national Triple ID committee member for I think consecutive 3 times. At that I took it willfully because I understood that these places will allow me to bring those matlab interactions into my life, and even I can bring it to other cities also. So when I was in Baroda, we started in Baroda. We started the Touch the Brick series. Variety of series you think of it. We thought that instead of architect coming and showing a project, we go to their sites. We go to Balkrishna Vidoshi in Ahmedabad. We go to Bimal sir and Hasmukh Bhai Patel in Ahmedabad, and we went to their offices, their projects. They accompanied us. They've shown us their projects, how the projects are. So it's a new innovative thought process that why not to have similar kind of an events. Same, I believe that in national level we brought similar kind of thought process in other cities. But India has around 28 chapters and all over India. So we thought that there I can again influence and bring these kind of change into these other institutes. So I think that journey has also started. Now going to colleges as a jury member or as sometimes to give some lecture or presentations, I realize that now I am 55 now, and the coming years I think we need to contribute more towards the society, and that journey has also begun, and enjoying doing that.
So you are not only doing for your clients or the people, you are also doing lots of things for your similar community, architects, center designers, and whatever you have learned, you are passing them through your experiences, and that's a very good initiative, and it's something which is creditable.
Thank you.
So you have designed all the things which I can consider, which is on larger scale also, smaller scale also. And lots of our audience are younger interior designers or architects who are studying or who are doing part-time practice or who are working, and they are very on their initial stage of the journey. What kind of advice you would like to give them?
बेसिक बहुत मिनिमल एडवाइस है कि वर्क वर्क्स, काम हमेशा काम करता है, वर्क वर्क्स. अनफॉर्चुनेटली हम जो भी ईमानदारी से फर्स्ट यू ट्राई टू बिल्ड योर थॉट प्रोसेस कि जो मतलब विच इज़ आई बिलीव कांस्टेंट है. हमारे सीनियर्स को ऑब्जर्व करके अगर हम सीखे तो सर्टन मतलब क्लाइमेटोलॉजी ध्यान में लेना है, या वेन एवर व्हाटएवर दे आर गोइंग टू डिजाइन, अल्टीमेटली टाइमलेसनेस ऑफ मटीरियल, टाइपोलॉजी, कोई भी टाइपोलॉजी करो, ये सब तो कांस्टेंट है. तो फॉर देम आई थिंक ये तो एक प्रोसेस तो डेवलप कर लिया. उसके बाद में मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि कई बार हम काम करने में थोड़े चूक जाते हैं. मतलब व्हाट हैपेंस इज व्हेन इट कम्स टू से कोई सर्टेन प्रोजेक्ट डिमांड्स सर्टेन टाइम, सर्टेन इन्वॉल्वमेंट, वो सिस्टम से नहीं होता. मैं मतलब आर्किटेक्चर मेरा बहुत स्ट्रॉन्ग एडवाइस है कि अगर आपको 10 से 6 की जॉब करनी है तो मत करो फिर आर्किटेक्चर. दिस इज नॉट द फील्ड. यू कैन ज्वाइन, देयर इज नथिंग, आई एम नॉट डीमोटिवेटिंग दैट, बट आई एम सेइंग दैट इंस्टेड, बिकॉज ये दिस इज समथिंग 2 बजे भी आपको वो दिमाग में आएगा. व्हेन यू आर डूइंग सम ऑनेस्टी से कुछ प्रोजेक्ट कर रहे हो ना, सोने नहीं देगा वो. और वो सोने नहीं देना इज अ ब्यूटीफुल थिंग हैपनिंग इन एज एन आर्किटेक्ट टू मी. मतलब वो अगर सोच आती है, आई स्क्रिबल इट, वो उठ के मैंने वो उतना कर लिया मेरा, फिर अच्छी बढ़िया नींद आ जाती है अगले दिन आई. सो ये लिमिट मतलब, और वो काम करने के लिए तैयार रहना. वर्क वर्क्स मतलब तुम ये प्रोफेशन में जो काम करने आए हो, ऊपर वाले ने भेजा है, तो वो लिमिटेड टाइम में, लिमिटेड मतलब ऑर्गेनाइज्ड फॉर्म में. ऑर्गेनाइज तो कर सकते हो, ऑर्गेनाइज डज नॉट मीन टाइम के लिए. मैं बता रहा हूँ कि बहुत है कि मुझे तो सैटरडे संडे छुट्टी ही चाहिए, फाइन. मैं आई टेक ब्रेक फॉर 15 days. I go and travel beautiful cities, countries I explore. But during even that period, I try to be connected with my projects, my social media. वो हमारे क्लाइंट ग्रुप बनते हैं व्हाट्सएप पे, रोज वो प्रोजेक्ट को मॉनिटर किए बगैर नींद नहीं आती. मतलब आई कैन नॉट स्लीप अनलेस आई सी व्हाट इज हैपनिंग इन माय प्रोजेक्ट. इट इज काइंड ऑफ माय पूजा, पैशन, व्हाटएवर यू से. तो इंटेंशन है कि स्ट्रक्चर्ड मैनर में लाइफ जीनी है आपको, तो 10 से 6 वाली या 5 days a week ये प्रोफेशन इट माइट बैकफायर, बिकॉज आपको सेटिस्फैक्शन 2 दिन में कुछ चीजें हो जाएगी जो आपको पिंच करेगी. अगर आप सेंसिटिव सोल है कि ये प्रोजेक्ट में ये नहीं होना चाहिए, किसी को पता नहीं चलेगा, बट आपको सोने नहीं देगा इफ यू आर अ रियल सोल. So I feel that if you want to practice architecture, to all my young fraternity generations, कि भरपूर नाम है, बहुत सारे प्रोजेक्ट्स हैं, इंडिया तो भी बनना बाकी है. Coming years, I am seeing the most. It is a fantastic profession. We will have ample projects, but yes, commitment, connect it with the soul and work works. That's it. काम आपको जब जो डिमांड है वो प्रोजेक्ट के लिए वो करना है आप. Then I think the sky is the limit.
Got it. Got it. So you mean to say involve yourself
Yes.
as much as you can do it.
Yes.
I'll not say the word use possible because possibilities we design it.
Yes.
But as much as you can involve yourself in that project and then you start design or create the experience over there. The similar way, I believe certain responsibilities are towards clients also. Because lots of time clients are restricting architects and interior designers. So normally what kind of mistakes happen by the client while selecting the designers or creating that space or something which is the entire journey of making that space? What kind of mistakes clients make?
मेरे office पे when we sit, they laugh actually. My associates, I tell them, मतलब what happens is when we sit for a first sketch design, I enjoy. They all sit with me when the brief comes, site data comes. I have a sheet of paper and I enjoy. I'm still old school. I sit with the basic वो virtual travel करने खुद बैठता हूँ. What we decided. तो वो करते टाइम पे कहीं पे कोई दो मतलब बच्चों का किसी का वो WhatsApp आ जाता है तो they check it. और some कोई बाहर से कोई communicate हो रहा है. तो I मतलब I have very strict rule. तो मेरा हमेशा एक ही bottom line वो बंद कर देता हूँ तब तुरंत सब जब्त हो जाता है. और फिर बाहर से I tell them कि आप बंद कर दो. And then I tell them कि अभी अगर हमको पता चला ना कि 10.2 का अर्थक्वेक आ रहा है, 10.2 का अर्थक्वेक आ रहा है, हाथ में पेंसिल है, तो हम तो पेंसिल और पेपर के साथ निकलने चाहिए अंदर से. मतलब वी शुड डाई ब्लडी विद दिस पेपर. ये पेपर पेंसिल और 2 ऑप्शंस है, या तो दरवाजा खोलो भाग जाओ या मेरा स्केच मैं पूरा करूं. तो आई एम रेडी टू डाई विद दिस पेंसिल पेपर एंड माय कॉन्सेप्ट. अगर वो है ना तो तेरे लायक मतलब देयर इज abundant of work. मतलब कुछ काम मतलब यू विल एंजॉय इट और कुछ करना नहीं है. दिस इज योर मतलब ये पूजा है. और ये सब बच्चों को पता है मेरे ऑफिस में कि सर वाला वो. और मैंने बोला सही में कभी आया तो मुझे ढूंढ लेना, ऊपर मत ढूंढना, मैं वो नीचे से ही कबाड़ में से निकलूंगा वो पेपर के साथ. अगर अर्थक्वेक और पेंसिल है तो मैं फंस गया. फिर वो दरवाजे खुले भाग नहीं सकूंगा. एंड आई थिंक इफ दैट लव यू हैव then I think this is the bottom line of I think a message to all students. And I think for clients also we try to say that only, try to evaluate the first. Definitely try to check the past project what he has done it. Definitely because of social media now it's very clear and easy. But what is happening nowadays that it is a reverse designing. Nowadays the picture, some reference picture, the junior or some architects, they take a picture and they try to design like a picture. It's like a reverse thinking instead of a soulful thinking. So when you choose an architect or a design, or you want somebody to design something for you for your life, try to understand the depth an architect has about the overall design process. That once you understand, when you speak to him, or that how does he design the whole project. It's not just presenting the 3D picture, or try to see the whole process of it, right from the scribble to the process, and then try to understand the way he has virtually traveled. I try to explain. I hold my client's hand and मैं उनको घुमाने ले जाता हूँ जितना मैं घुमा सकता हूँ. पर यदि उसको ये पता चलता है कि ये बंदा घूम रहा है कहीं मेरे घर पे कागज पे ही. तो I think there are so many such architects who knows this. उनको ट्रिक ये पता है. So I think you have to find similar architect, not somebody who can make a cosmetics or some reference. आपका Pinterest के पेपर जैसे 4 इमेज वाला आपको स्पेस बना दे. I think that is not what architecture is. It is about मतलब the guy who can visualize a space और virtually उसमें घूम सके और आपको थोड़ा बहुत घुमा सके उसमें. I think इतना समझ लो तो you will find a right architect for you.
So that was lovely talking to you today. I cannot explain in words.
And I also enjoyed it.
Enjoy. So thank you so much. Hitesh sir, for coming on our show today. It is pleasure for all of us, our audience, and it is very insightful for not for the designing or something, but the way of thinking you have created for yourself, for your team, for your community, for your clients is beyond. Beyond.
So sweet of you, and I really appreciate. Today you took me back from my school days to, I think I as if I वो बच्चे थे तो वो पेपर पे ऐसे करते थे तो मूवी बन जाता था ना ऐसे मैं you made me travel from Belgaum to here. I never thought it will be so interesting. I must thank you for this, and I'm sure this initiative, I congratulate you, and I will try to, I think, inspire so many institutes with this. I have already told you, but I'm repeating it, that I will love to do this, because these kind of conversations with so many senior architects, the knowledgeable artists, which I believe will be useful for colleges. It can become an archive. So fantastic initiative. Thank you very much, and I really appreciate your this approach.
Thank you.
I would like to invite you to my home to connect you with my wife, an architect wife, who has a big influence on my design and the overall journey of life. My classmate and partner, a founding partner, Neha Modi, and my daughter, who is again a designer, Bachelor of Design she did, and an actress by profession. So both of them have, I think, a big way influenced the way we are designing. Honestly, for architecture and interior designing, she is equally contributing, and I want to introduce them at my home to you. So let's.
That would be my honor to visit them, meet them, and understand whatever we have talked about today. I would love to experience over there.
Thank you.
Thank you for the invitation. Let's go.